Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 133, Cup Heartache. What a week in the Family Fantasy Football League. Changes throughout the league table, some of them big. 6 managers went into the transfer market this week. 2 of them playing their one and only permitted wildcard tactical gambit, which allowed them to make multiple transfers in the single week at no points cost. And one of them also played an Oiti's Mind tactical gambit, spending £5 million of their transfer budget, allowing them to purchase a player that already belonged to another Family Fantasy Football League side. In this edition of Banter in the Box, we've got your Game Week 14 winners and losers. 4 winners who will all earn a Manager of the Season point, and 5 losers who will all lose a Manager of the Season point if they had a Manager of the Season point to lose. We've also got a quote of the week, and it's possibly the quote of the season. A chairman's chats is on the horizon. I'll be revealing who's next up and what you need to do to earn Manager of the Season points. We'll review the Family Fantasy Football League Cup. Last weekend was the final group stage round of fixtures. We now know the 16 teams that are in the knockout stages of the Family Fantasy Football League Cup in the new year. And I'll be revealing which managers are through, which managers are out, and which manager just missed out on qualifying for the knockout stages. And we've got a Manager of the Season update. Did anyone get the who the fuck is that? All will be revealed. So, your Game Week 14 winners, take a bow. Yours truly, Chairman's Choice, climbing 2 places up to 16th. The highest that I've been since Game Week 1. Take a bow. No effing rude names. A Game Week 13 loser, but she's a Game Week 14 winner. The joint biggest climbers in Game Week 14, up 4 places to 7th. And that's the highest that Nicola Lee has been since Game Week 5. Take a bow also. I've got a life's Mops Hoxby. One of the joint biggest climbers, up 4 places to the heady heights of 4th in the table. You have to go back to the 23rd of January 2020, 3.5 years ago, for the last time Mops was as high as 4th in the table. But the biggest Game Week 14 winner and a Game Week winner for the second week running, take a bow, Pez United manager Ryan Perrin. If ever there was an example of the importance of making transfers for those of you down the bottom of the table, Ryan is it. Climbed 3 places up to 22nd to record his first weekly win of the season with not just a personal highest weekly total of 80 points, but that is the highest weekly total so far this season, which puts Ryan in prime position to collect the £10 prize money for the highest weekly total of the season. And 22nd is the highest that Ryan has been since the 14th of January 2022. A year and a half since Ryan's been as high as 22nd in the league table. 1 Manager of the Season point to those 4. Your Game Week 14 losers, hide your head in shame. No cop for me, manager Sarah Goodwin, a Game Week winner in Game Week 13, but she was the joint biggest fallers in Game Week 14, dropping 4 places down to 9th. You have to go back to Game Week 5 for the last time Sarah was as low as 9th in the table. Hide your head in shame also, Masters of Nuns Jack Hoxby, the joint biggest fallers in Game Week 14, down 4 places to 10th. And 10th is a season low for Jack, and it's getting to him so much, all his hair's fallen out. Hide your head in shame also, Foxborough Foxes manager Charlotte Williams. She fell 1 place down to 17th in the table You have to go back to the 1st of June 2020, over 3 years, for the last time Charlotte was as low as 17th in the table. Hide your head in shame. The big Bostocockless manager, Niall Ponsford, dropped another place down to 14th in the table in this, his second season in the Family Fantasy Football League. Niall has never ever been as low as 14th in the league table. But the biggest game week 14 loser, hide your head in shame, Average Joe's manager, Jo Hawksby. She dropped a place down to 23rd in the league table with the lowest score in game week 14, 30 points. Where they had them, one manager of the season point lost for those 5. Quote of the week came in from this man, the big Bostocockless manager, Niall Ponsford. Second in his debut season, but he's having a season to forget this season, so much so that I've been labelling him a one-season wonder. Niall finally went into the transfer market in game week 14, playing his wild card, one and only permitted wild card tactical gambit, which allowed him to make multiple transfers in the single week. And he sent me this message, giving me that one-season wonder tag has lit a fire underneath me, and I have a point to prove. Listen to this as you read and understand that not only is it reflective of my mindset, but it also describes what the team is going to do to the table this season. It's time to cook. And he sent me a link to Miley Cyrus's The Climb, which I put on the Family Fantasy Football League Facebook group. Listening to that song while you read Niall's message. Yeah, I get your point, Niall. And that earns you a manager of the season point. Chairman's Chats. You will recall we had our first ever Chairman's Chats earlier on in the season where I sat down with Masters of None, Jack Hawksby, to ask him the question that you were too afraid to ask. And Jack, at the end of that Chairman's Chats interview, nominated the next manager to appear in the next Chairman's Chats, and he nominated none other than the Creed Bratton Society's The Mad Hatter. I'll be reaching out to you, Mad Hatter, to synchronise our diaries so we can have a Chairman's Chats. But this is your point, your chance to earn a manager of the season point. What I need you to do is send me the one, you can only send me one, the one question that you would like me to ask the Mad Hatter that you yourself are too afraid to ask. I will ask the questions anonymously, and if the Mad Hatter picks your question as his favourite, then you will earn 3 manager of the season points. Now listen carefully. What you need to do is email me with the subject heading Chairman's Chats the question that you want me to ask the Mad Hatter. Send it by email. If you message me, WhatsApp message me, text me, I'll likely lose it in all the other messages that I get and forget to ask the Mad Hatter that question. If you send me an email with a subject heading Chairman's Chats, then I'll definitely pose that question to the Mad Hatter. Probably going to be a few weeks before we do it, depending on how busy the Mad Hatter is. So plenty of time to get your question in, but do not dilly-dally. FFFL Cup review. As I said, it was the last matches in the first round group stage last weekend, and we now know the 16 teams that will be competing in the knockout stages of the Family Fantasy Football League Cup in the new year. Group A saw Pez United and no happy endings going through to the second round. No surprise that Megan Hoxlade Chamberlain, who's bottom of the league table, finishes bottom of Group A. A little bit of a surprise to see Gobi Desert Canoe Club out. Holds the record or joint record for the most ever Family Fantasy Football League Cup wins. But Gobi Desert Canoe Club is out. It's Pez United and No Happy Endings who are progressing. No happy endings in the relegation zone, but still in the cup. Group B. Chairman's Choice had already qualified and they made sure that they topped the group by winning their final group match. Green Top Milk go through with Chairman's Choice. Struggling Norfolk and Chance FC in the relegation zone. No surprise they finished bottom of the group. And Legends 23 miss out as well. Group C. Chicken Tikka Mo Salah FC had already qualified, but they still made a point of getting a draw in the last game with Benny United, which prevented Benny United from progressing as one of the third best placed sides. In fairness, Benny, you needed a huge win in that game to have any chance of qualifying. Ontario Grizzlies go through, but the Average Joes have snuck through as one of the two best third place sides. Despite struggling in the league, they're still in the cup. Group D saw No Effing Rude Names and I've Got a Life qualify automatically. Arden Diamonds, the number one rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, scraped through as one of the two third best placed sides. But no cop for me. 9th in the league table, but they're out. Sarah's gone. This was a bit of a group of death. All of those teams in the top 9 places in the Family Fantasy Football League table. So it's No Effing Rude Names, I've Got a Life, and Arden Diamonds through to the second round. In Group E, Sashamans FC had already qualified and they made sure they finished top with maximum points. Clockhouse Rangers were the surprise package. They went through in second place. And it's High Flying Haven't Jot a Clue and Masters of None who are out. Masters of None losing every single game, despite being in the top 10 in the Family Fantasy Football League table. Group F saw 11 Cocks and Shrimpers FC going through. I thought that this would be a walkover for Grease Lightning, top of the table. But Alexi Lagos is out and heartbreakingly missed out on one of the two third best place finishes by just 2 points, just one assist. One more assist, Alexi, and you would have pipped Average Joes to a place in the knockout stages. Foxborough Foxes, beaten finalists last year, well, they're out of the cup as well. And in Group G, the Creed Bratton Society and Juan Veron FC went through, going to form this one. The Big Boster Cogless season of woe continues as they finish bottom of the group. And last season's cup winners, Ostrich Bar Stewards, have gone. They're out. So, those teams in green are through to the second round of the Family Fantasy Football League Cup. And keep your eyes peeled over Christmas. That second round draw will be coming. And we changed the format this year. The suggestion of Ontario Grizzlies manager Neil Hatch. It's an open draw in the second round. There is no seedings. All 16 teams go into the pot. Anyone can be drawn against anyone else in that second round draw. Who the fuck is that? It's a picture of a current Family Fantasy Football League manager. Just 2 managers had a guest this week. Shrimpers FC manager Stephen Lee thought that was a picture of 11 Cox manager Simon Hoxby. And Ontario Grizzlies manager Neil Hatch thought that was a picture of Haven't Jot a Clue manager James Holmes. I can reveal neither of those guesses were correct. So the manager of the season table looks like this. Joe Hoxby and Sarah Goodwin both lost a point this week for being a game week 14 loser, but they stayed joint top of the table on 18 points. Mops Hoxby was a game week 14 winner. She goes 4th in the manager of the season table. Jack Hoxby dropping to 5th for being a Game Week 14 loser. I'm up to joint 6th for being a Game Week 14 winner. Niall Ponsford stayed 10th. Got a point for the quote of the week, but lost a point for being a Game Week 14 loser. And Nikki Lee consolidates her position in 13th for being a Game Week 14 winner. There's a host of other managers in the bottom half and a manager of the season table. So we're rolling it over. It's worth 2 manager of the season points. It's not Simon Hoxby. It's not James Holmes. But if you can tell me who it is, you will earn yourself 2 manager of the season points. That's it for this week, guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.